This is the most technologically advanced, most user-friendly, and the most recently released espresso machine in Breville's lineup, the Oracle Jet. However, since I did my first video of this machine at SCA where it was announced, I'd also argue it has been one of the most confusing and, dare I say, controversial machines Breville have launched. It bears the flagship Oracle name, but looking at the spec sheet, it almost appears to be a step backwards. I've been using this as my daily driver for the last 3 weeks or so, and I've even reached out to Breville's product expert, Matt Davis, to get their side of the story when it came to the choices made with this release. And I'm glad that I did, because there is significantly more to the Oracle Jet than initially meets the eye. This is one review you're going to want to watch all the way through, because there is a lot to cover. So buckle up and let's dive in. Before we get going, a quick disclaimer. This machine was sent to me early for the sake of making this video. However, as always, that will have zero impact on the contents of this video or the opinions that I express in it. If you do want to check your availability or local pricing on the Oracle Jet, I will of course have it linked down in the description below. Starting off with the build quality and design, the Oracle Jet is built on a brand new chassis, sporting the updated, more angular design language we've seen in their other machines like the Barista Pro and the Touch Impress. This might seem like a no-brainer, as it is a new machine after all, but it wouldn't be the first time Breville have used a seemingly outdated platform on a new release, like in the cases of the Barista Touch and the Barista Impress. If you're familiar with Breville's current new body offerings, then the build quality on this machine will feel very similar on all major touch points. Although it is worth noting that the front water fill port feels a bit nicer and is less prone to getting stuck, like sometimes happened on my original Oracle. On the flip side, the lever to raise up the machine onto its casters, which is a great feature, did feel a little cheap and flimsy compared to the old mechanism, in my opinion. The biggest upgrade that can be immediately noticed even over the newest Brevilles is the quality of the screen on the Oracle Jet. Not only does it have a much higher resolution, but it's running a significantly faster quad-core processor that allows it to run at very smooth frame rates and with improved response times. Now, they didn't only put in that new processor so they could run that pretty new display, it also has some tangible performance benefits that we'll chat about later on in this video, and also right now as we dive into the user experience. When you first set up the Oracle Jet, you immediately experience how this machine is taking full advantage of that added compute power. Every aspect of the setup process is animated and spelled out step by step, from installing the hopper to filling the water tank, to pulling your first shot, dialing in the grind size, and even steaming milk for your first latte. For me, and probably many of the subscribers of this channel, this might seem like complete overkill and a bit of a nuisance. And yes, I definitely did race through the first drink tutorial. But from the perspective of someone who's never owned or even used an espresso machine, or God forbid, dialed in an espresso shot, I think we can all acknowledge that this is a very well executed experience. No espresso machine that I've owned can I truly claim is idiot-proof, but unless the first thing you do with the Oracle Jet is run to the settings and turn off all forms of help, you are going to get good, drinkable results within about 5 minutes. It runs through every single pitfall I can think of, even urging users to source locally roasted coffee instead of supermarket bought bags, probably so that their support centers don't get inundated with calls complaining that their new machine isn't making crema, which, if you're watching this and you're new to espresso making, is almost entirely a product of how freshly roasted your coffee is. After this initial tutorial, you're only ever really bugged to move the grind setting slightly if the shot is running very fast or very slow, but you can also opt out and turn these off completely. The rest of the workflow and the user interface is very similar to what we're used to on machines like the Touch Impress or Oracle Touch. You select your drink from the menu, and the machine will run through all the appropriate grinding, brewing, milk steaming, or water dispensing for that particular drink. You can also tweak the settings of the drinks in the menu as needed for your preferred shot size, milk type, milk texture, water volume, etc. Or you can set up an entirely new drink from scratch. One aspect I don't like about the otherwise pretty flawless user experience is that the Oracle Jet is using the water outlet from the Barista Pro rather than the chute style that seems to be on the older Oracle machines, which I much preferred as it is significantly less splashy. My tip for not making a mess would be to dispense the water first and pull the shot second, which actually brings me to another nice feature. When making multi-step drinks like a latte or Americano, when you hit the first button, it automatically queues up the next step in the process so that you don't need to stand there waiting for the first step to finish just to advance the machine to the next one. You can turn this off if you want, but I did really like this feature because it allows me to set my cup up and milk and then just walk away from the machine until everything is finished. You'll also know when the drink is finished because Breville seemed to have integrated subtle sound cues into the Oracle Jet, such as a startup jingle and a light ding when each step completes. Again, these can be turned off, but I did find it actually added a bit of a premium feel to the overall experience. What still doesn't sound particularly premium is the grinding volume on this machine. It is still relatively low. And while there are high quality external grinders that are equally loud, for a brand and more importantly a premium product line like this that is selling a stress-free and luxurious home experience, sound deadening is an area that I had hoped they would have tackled in a ground up redesign like the Oracle Jet. Heat up time is, well, instant because this is running on the ThermoJet heating system, hence the name Oracle Jet, and this makes forgetting to turn on the machine in the morning pretty much a non-issue. You can go from cold to a fully made drink in a matter of 1 or 2 minutes. A few more quick points to note before we move on to the actual drink quality. The drip tray fills up fast. It's not that it is undersized, this is just a common thing I've noticed on the newer machines running the ThermoJet heating system. And finally, we will end the user experience on a positive, the lights. The working lights in the brewing area are some of the brightest I've seen on any home machine, and it just gives this whole machine a very premium look and feel when sitting on your kitchen counter. Espresso brewing on the Oracle Jet has a few key advantages over past Oracles and other Breville models. First of all, it is using a 58mm portafilter. This is a staple in the Oracle line and allows for slightly larger doses that help in getting good consistency from the automatic dosing and tamping system. Another advantage of the Oracle Jet over all past machines comes from that more powerful processor. Having more compute power allows the Jet to have more accurate volumetric dosing now because of better algorithms watching both the flow meter and shot timer in real time. I had the shot volume set to 1 step smaller than a double, and it was producing shots consistently between 43 and 46 grams. The other advantage of the added compute power is better grind size recommendations if you choose to leave those enabled. Instead of just urging you to arbitrarily go finer or go coarser based on the shot time, it's now going to give you an exact grind range in the recommendation. While this is a great improvement, I'd be a poor reviewer if I failed to mention that the newly launched Ninja Luxe Cafe can also do this, except at about a quarter of the price point. I'm not saying that these machines are necessarily even competitors. I can definitely say, having lived with both, that the Oracle Jet is a far better espresso machine for a variety of reasons. But the point I am trying to make here is that I hope Breville trickles this down to its lower level machines. It doesn't try to reserve this as some kind of premium feature exclusive to the Oracle line. In terms of pre-infusion, it's set to 7 seconds before ramping up to full pressure, and at the moment this isn't adjustable like we had the ability to do on the older dual boiler and Oracles. Although the intention is to keep the machine as simple as possible, I think this is a mistake, and I'm hoping this will be added in a future firmware update. Because yes, the Oracle Jet can connect to the internet and receive firmware updates. For example, I have received 2 since unpacking this machine. One that introduced a feature where double tapping any of the icons will perform a purge of that area. So you can purge out a small volume of old grounds, flush the group head, or purge the steam wand, even though it does this automatically. And the other update I received right before filming this video was a bunch of added recipes in the menu, including an espresso martini with step-by-step instructions. The last important item to point out on the Oracle Jet is its thermal stability. One of the greatest features of the Breville dual boiler was its insanely consistent temperature control. The Oracle Jet thankfully maintains this through the use of a second ThermoJet coil directly in the group head. So although the setup has moved away from a full-sized dual boiler for this specific model, the brewing quality and consistency is completely maintained, and in fact, slightly improved because of the changes they've made to the grinder. Grinder quality has the most direct impact on drinks of any parameter in a coffee setup, other than, of course, the coffee you put in it. The grinder largely determines the flavor profile, body, and even brewing consistency from shot to shot. Since Breville's acquisition of Baristas, they've been adding in better quality burrs to many of their modern machines, such as recently produced Barista Pro and Barista Touch machines, the Touch Impress, and the current Oracle lineup. The Oracle Jet maintains this upgraded burr set, but takes things a step further by completely re-engineering the entire grinding assembly. It is now made almost entirely of metal to allow for better burr alignment and better grind setting consistency. There's also no longer an adjustable upper burr, meaning that the whole grinding range is now accessible all at once from the external adjustment dial. Speaking of grind adjustment, there is a pro and a con here that isn't unique to the Oracle Jet. While the grind settings are shown in steps on the display, the grind is in fact stepless, meaning that anytime you move the dial, the grind size is being adjusted even if you don't see it step to the next level shown on the screen. Overall, this is a positive because it's stepless, but my small issue is the amount of play in between those grind steps. I often find myself playing in that zone between numbers, which I'm thankful I can do, but I would much prefer if I could actually see more granular numbers on the screen to make it easier to return precisely to past grind settings if needed. According to Matt, this is something they're evaluating and could possibly be changed down the road, again, through an over-the-air update. But what does all this actually mean in terms of espresso quality? Well, what I can safely say is the quality of espresso I've been getting out of the Oracle Jet is well worthy of the Oracle name. It is undoubtedly the fastest workflow from cold of any machine Breville has produced so far, and the drink quality exceeds any of the integrated grinder machines they've released to date. Could you get better drink quality by getting a $1,000 grinder and pairing it with the dual boiler? Probably yes. But with anything except for very light roasts, you would be splitting hairs. As an all-in-one system, this is the most capable espresso-wise we have seen from Breville, primarily due to those improvements to the grinder assembly, but also the improved shot-to-shot consistency. For lattes, espresso, cappuccinos, and even the host of cold coffee drinks they have packed into this machine, I can't see someone being anything but impressed with the drink quality coming out of this unit, other than maybe those in the deepest corners of the specialty coffee niche. Perhaps the biggest changes, both positive and negative, on the Oracle Jet come by way of its steaming setup. The fact that this machine is not a dual boiler, meaning it can't brew and steam at the same time, caused an absolute uproar in the comments on my first video, and I don't necessarily disagree. I think this choice has challenged everybody's internal definition of what the Oracle naming really means. So to very quickly provide that now slightly tweaked definition, it is machines with fully automated grind dose and tamp, 58mm portafilters, the highest quality grinders, and the Oracle steam arm, meaning degree-specific temperature, very granular texture adjustment, and the temperature probe in the arm itself. And now the milk system. Last year, I was very impressed with this system on the Touch Impress, and with the added computing power, apparently they've been able to further improve the profiling on this unit. No matter the milk type being used, I am getting latte art quality milk every time out of this machine. Quickly, consistently, and completely hands-free. I'm not really sure where we go from here in terms of improvements. I guess a bit more steaming power and speed would be nice, but this is the best automatic steaming I have seen to date. Combine that with the improved espresso quality on the other side of this machine, and you've got one heck of a combination in your kitchen. It's also worth a brief mention how much more energy efficient the switch to the ThermoJet has made this when compared to the full dual boiler configurations. Okay, that was a lot of information coming at you all at once, so let's summarize the key points of the Oracle Jet. A completely new grinding assembly for better alignment, a high resolution, high refresh screen, a faster processor that allows for better on-screen guidance, better volumetric shot accuracy, better grind size recommendations, and better steaming performance for all milk types, a dual ThermoJet heating system with one right at the group head to ensure very good temperature stability, as well as allow for new lower temperature extraction options if that happens to be your thing, and of course the ability to receive over-the-air updates to keep improving the machine down the road. Well, I think most people, myself included, were confused by the lack of dual boiler operation. If you look at the price point and where that puts it in the product lineup, I think we can see that Breville was trying to fill a gap between the Touch Impress and the existing Oracles. Now, whether there's a market for a machine in that gap, I guess time will tell. The biggest challenger to this model is undoubtedly Breville's own Touch and Press, which I will be doing a head-to-head on in a future video. I do expect Breville will likely release new dual boiler or at least dual heating system versions of the Oracle down the road, but that is purely speculation. And if they do that, I would also expect them to be in a similar price bracket to the existing Oracles, which has always been a bit of a tough pill to swallow. If you are in the market for an espresso machine in this price range and you want a downright foolproof workflow and aren't serving enough people at a time to require a dual boiler, then this is a great machine. But I want to hear from you guys. Now that you have all of the under the hood details, what do you think of this new addition to Breville's lineup? Again, if you want to check out this machine, I will have it linked down in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and even consider subscribing if you want to see some more like it in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.